Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Zen and the Art of Satsuma Maintenance. Make sure to plug your phone back in so you can get calls for jobs and from Grandma. Don't forget to eat. See, that's a nice thing. In the beginning, you have frozen pizza and I don't know if it's frozen, but yeah, we got pizza and macaroni box that you can eat, which pretty much takes care of most of the first 2 days. Um, you're going to want to grab the beer and take it to the forklift, which is behind the house, heading towards this house. And don't forget, there's actually a birthday present, or holiday present, I guess, with random gift money. Don't drink the alcohol. Uh, I'm pretty sure it makes you pass out. Because it's a lot of alcohol or something. So you want to take this beer, which is not a lot of alcohol, uh, to the forklift, or whatever you want to call it. The diesel can, put that in there. So this is where I actually stopped and saved my game, and then came back to it later. Um, so a couple things before we go on our trip, little round trip. When you're driving, try to keep an eye out for those dust clouds. That's your cousin Penna. If you see him, then let off the gas. Look on both sides of the road to see which side is the best one to go towards. Another thing is try not to drive while messing with the radio. I do like to use the forks on the forklift so that I can see where I'm aiming on the road. It's helpful, but it's still not a good idea to mess with the radio when you're trying to drive towards the highway, because there's these kind of treacherous road parts, and then this can happen, which is fine. You can just quit the menu and then do continue, and then that just pretty much starts you back where you had last saved. So you lose whatever progress you had since that save, but it can save you some frustration and headache of having to fix whatever just happened. Okay, so usually I take the tractor, hook it up to the little truck bed thing, trailer, yeah, and take it to the house, and then that's when I grab the fuel can and put it in there. But since I had saved, then I was at the house, so I just grabbed the fuel can then. You can do whichever works for you. Then don't forget, you pull the throttle back a little bit, hold down the ignition to start it, and you want to remove the parking brake before you go and go into gear. And it might take a couple tries to line it up, and that's okay, but just keep at it and you'll get it. Yeah, and then when you hear that sound, then it's hooked up. And don't forget, smoking is bad for you. Okay, so we're going to take that right that you just saw there at the mailboxes, and this is the road, if you don't know. This is the road to go away from the house towards wherever you want to go to, everywhere. And be mindful, there are railroad tracks between your house and this little T-section that we're heading towards. You can see the wheat field, I guess. It's on the side of that road, which is also a good landmark for when you're trying to find the road. We're going to take a right, which is going to go past Grandma's house and towards the highway. So there are another set of railroad tracks that are just past Grandma's house, right about here, to be mindful of. I don't really remember there being too many like uphill areas. There are some fun little downhill, riding down. I did see Penna. I think he's like doing donuts or something, just kind of, you know, it's summer. He's just having fun, living his best life. Try not to. Yeah, I just kind of slowed down. You don't want to. I didn't want to slam into him or anything or be a jerk. And then he just goes over in the little dirt track and just do more donuts. Just having fun, living his best life. Alright, so this isn't like the highway, it's just like the road. I always check. I don't think there's any cars that really drive on that. I don't know. I've never ran into one, but I always check. But there's going to be a downhill to the highway that you want to kind of watch your speed, especially on this thing, because if you start going too fast, the front end kind of starts bouncing a bit. So, you want to kind of control your speed a little when you're going down. And it's a bit of a drive, but when you see the sign, and past this little rock wall, here on the right is the turnoff to town. And when you come in, you'll actually be coming in like right next to the gas station, pretty much. Then you'll just be able to see the gas pumps like through the bushes or trees or something. I don't remember. Yeah, you can see it right ahead actually. There's Teimo's. And I just kind of pull up and grab my stuff. Throw it in the back. Or drop it in the back. Although gas was pretty cheap. And usually I don't get gas right now. Usually it's like when I know I have enough money, but I figured I probably had enough money. I think like 4 new tires was only like 1,525 marka or something. And then since I only get the AFR gauge, then that's only 500, around 600 I think. So I figured I was probably good. Especially like I got the fuel, the gasoline, and it was like what, $83 or something? I don't know. I have to check it. I don't feel like it right now. And then make sure, don't forget to pay. You want to make sure you remember to pay for your gas. And then go ahead and head out down this road, which is actually, this is the opposite way that we came in from, so you're actually just kind of still going in a straight line. I essentially just make like a big loop around the map. Don't forget to stay hydrated. And make sure you watch out for, sometimes there'll be people walking across the road. Luckily, that dude was pretty far away. I think that might be the drunk guy that calls at night. I don't know. But I think there's just random people that walk around. Another thing is when going up these hills, you you're gonna have to kind of mess around. So the diff lock that locks your rear differential, which essentially just means that your back tires spin at the same speed. So it makes it harder to turn, but it makes it so that your tires aren't, spinning out of control in dirt or mud. So that's one method you can use to try to get over hills. If the diff lock still isn't working and you're getting the like that, go into low and then go down to first gear in low, and then you'll be able to catch and start getting up. And you might be able to get into second gear, or you can just stay in first low until you get to the top and then pop it all back up to third high. Okay, so as you're driving, you'll eventually notice the break in the trees with the little farmland with like a barn. This is the abandoned farmhouse where the tires are. The first thing you want to do is to break down the doors with the forks of your forklift, but I didn't. And then I rubbed my face on it, I guess. And then I broke down the doors with the forks of the forklift. And then I parked close enough to the window, because I just throw them out the window and realized if I can park the trailer close enough to the window, I can just chuck them out the window right into the trailer. Well, that works out pretty well. The only thing to really don't run into the trailer. The only thing to really watch out for, other than going face first into the trailer, is these bees, wasps, murder hornets, whatever they are, up here. There's a nest. Just keep your distance from them. Stay close to the walls as you move past, and you should be good. And then you just grab the wheels and chuck them out the window. And then that guy's got some switches. Take a little trip, yeah, you just gotta try to find a sweet spot, crouching or leaning or whatever, trying to grab these things. But eventually you'll get them all in there. I used to just go back downstairs, and then I saw someone jump out the window, and that worked really well, so I started doing that. That's pretty good. But yeah, there are there's Gina UZ is a streamer. I think she streams on Twitch, but she makes YouTube videos. She had one about coffee. That's not how I make my coffee, but I watched the video just to see how somebody else does it, to get some ideas on how to make coffee. Because I don't know, it's me. I always think there's a right way. Kind of be careful going across this bridge. You can, kind of biff it a bit. And then right on the other side of the bridge, up here is a little cross section, and you take a right, and then Fleetari's is just right there on the left. And go ahead and pull up in front of a shop, and then you're going to want to get out, and you take the tires into his store, being careful to not mess up his car or anything. You don't want to jump on the hood, you just want to stand on it and kind of wipe your feet a little.
Terve! Mikä oli pojalla mielessä?
Yeah, go and make sure you say hi. Get your wheels all situated. And then you use the catalog. Pick the tires. I always pick the cheapest because I'm broke. $15.75. I think I was off. Whatever I said was probably wrong. And I put them close enough so that I can put my head through the door in case he's closed. And don't forget to wave bye as you shove your head through his door. But yeah, I try to I try to make sure that the wheels are close enough so that if they're done and he's closed, I can just shove my head in and grab the tires. And then it's time to head on back home. Just you go straight, essentially, the way that you were going. And then there's some tire tracks to be mindful of. There's this little farm right here. This hill is a little hard for the tractor, especially when you're pulling the trailer. But up here there's a cross section of roads, and you want to take a right. Then you see the wheat field on your right, and here's that T-section where you want to take a right. And now this is the road to the house. That's the wheat field I said is a good landmark if you're trying to find the road. And then the train, it was longer than I thought it was going to be. I thought the train was shorter, but that was fine. But I should, I guess, maybe use a little bit more brake. But yeah, so, just be mindful. Try to keep an ear out for the train. And then coming up to the house, usually what I do with the tractor trailer is I park it in front of the house, like across the street, if that makes sense. Yeah, like right here. I usually just park it right here. It just keeps it out of the way, but it's close enough that I can, fiddle around with doing whatever I need to do. Put the hand throttle back, put the parking brake on. I always turn it off, like hit the ignition thing. I don't know if you're supposed to. I don't know. Anyways, now we got gas can that's full. Just put that back. Put your fluids away. I think maybe the phone, yeah. Oh yeah, I was kind of surprised that that was already done.
Sen saa sitten touvettua tieltä kunhan kerkiää. Joo, ja maksuhan tapahtuu sitten tähän kassalle. No niin, hei vaan.
But it's fine. I don't pick up the post order until tomorrow because tomorrow the tires will be ready. So I can just do a whole trip again and grab both. I went and grabbed the radio. I have never found anything to screw in the radio. I think it just sits there. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. What happens? But yeah, I've never been able to find a screwdriver or any sort of nuts or bolts. Drinking some water. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Take a quick shower. Just taking care of the stuff you need to take care of. You don't actually have to shower and get rid of your dirtiness. I just do. And now, there really isn't much else to do, so I start putting stuff together. So to be able to pick up the engine, you have to pick it up by the engine block. You have to click on the block. So if you're ever having trouble moving the engine or getting a hold of it somehow, then it's the block. So the next thing I put on was the cylinder head, size 7 bolts. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, okay, yeah, that's 10. Okay. And then after that, the rocker shaft goes on. These are also, no, these are size 8. And I'm sure that there's probably a way to kind of like zero out those rocker heads so they don't tic-tac, but I don't know how to do that. So I don't yet. And then I put on the alternator. It can be a little tricky finding the right spot, but you know, just keep at it and you'll find it. There's a bolt back here and the bolt up top. The top bolt is a size 7. And then the back bolt, I kind of tried to angle it so you could actually see where it is. But that's a size 10. And then grab the screwdriver and the alternator belt, pop on the alternator belt, and you want to move it as far to the right as you can until it stops moving. And then move it to the left twice. I kind of fiddled with it and didn't really do it as good as I would like it. I mean, it's set, but I didn't do it, you know, in one go. I fiddled with it a lot. But you don't have to. You can just move it as far to the right as possible, and then 2 to the left. And then you screw in the screw, and it's set. And then the phone rings. And it's Teimo again. I mean, in his defense, I would say, you know, he probably had to pay, like, cash on delivery. And he just, you know, wants his money. Alright, so now I figured it'd probably be time to, I need some food. So here's how I cook sausage. I set it to 4, the oven, stove top, whatever. Pop the sausage on there. And I try to put them all on one burner, mostly just to see if they all burn. Or not burn, what do you call that? If they all cook at the same time, or if, you know, we got a straggler or two. I don't know. And then the rocker covers. So you don't have to leave your food unattended in cooking, but I did. So this is size 7. I guess it'd be beneficial. It would behoove me to figure out how to do that the timestamp thing. But I don't know if it's like something on here or something. I think it's like you put the numbers on YouTube or something. I don't know. I always set it to like automatically do it, but I don't know if it does it at all. And so yeah, there's 3 bolts on each side for this as I ramble on. And then I noticed, oh yeah, I didn't put the spark plugs in yet, so you can grab your spark plugs. And there's just 4 of them in a box, and that's how many you need. And just pop them in. And then there is a spark plug wrench in the little tool thing. The tool briefcase. And you just want to screw those in until they don't screw no more. And then oil filter, you can grab that and pop it on real quick. You want to screw that in as far as it'll go. And then distributor cap, or not cap, the distributor. The cap's the top part. The distributor, I usually don't put it in before the spark plugs, but it is a lot easier to put the spark plugs in first. I just always forget. But not this time. And then you want to screw that in. I don't know exactly where that wants to be, so I try to kind of put it in the Midlands, so I can then, you know, tune it as I get done. And then you want to look at your battery, see, oh yeah, it's charging. Look, think about what else should I grab. And then you remember that you have sausage on the stove. You go there and see you got 3 cooked, and one of them is lagging behind. So yeah, I went in and ate one, since that's why I was cooking, because I was hungry. And then the others go in the fridge. Usually what I try to do is I cook in the morning when I wake up. And then I eat 2 for breakfast, 2 sausages. And then I have 2 for the rest of the day. But I don't know, through this thing, it's not that my timing is off, so whatever. Just one thing you want to be aware of is that cooked sausage will disappear when you save and come back into your game. Any cooked sausage in the refrigerator is going to disappear. Fish will stay. Cooked fish will stay. Okay, next, you want to put on your fuel pump. It's a size 7 bolt. There's 2 on each side. It's not a bolt, it's a nut, but, you know. Then the phone rings again. Oh, but it's okay. So she wants fish this time, which works out well for me. So usually what I do is I just do fish on the weekend. Saturday is when I go to the island and grab the fish and cook all the fish up, throw it in the refrigerator, and then Sunday I take the fish trap back, and then Monday is usually when I give her fish. So it works out well. Alright, you want to grab the brake lining, and that goes into the back of the engine bay right here. It's a little tricky to find, but there it is. And then the clutch lining goes above that, or right near it, really. The clutch master cylinder is a little tricky. Took me a bit of time. This is... I cut down a lot, but you'll find it eventually. Yep, right there. And so then size 7 bolts for all the lining, the brake and clutch. And you can actually screw all of the little nuts in right now without everything being attached. Because these things right here are actually supposed to go into the brake master cylinder that I didn't put in yet. But like I said, it's fine. You can screw that in and it'll be a-okay. Same with that. That goes into the engine, but no engine right now. And then you have one of these. This is the brakes for each wheel. The 2 in the front I was able to get because they're just like right there on these little wires. But I couldn't get the ones on the back at all. So I'll just wait until I get the tires on, then I'll be able to see better. There's the brake master cylinder. And that's the same size as the clutch master cylinder. And then the phone rings again.
Niin.
Oh, and then the old man. And so that's another thing too, is through this playthrough, I figured it'd probably be more helpful, because I'm standing here listening to these conversations, or phone calls, and all this other stuff. Trying to kind of waste a little bit more time, so that way, as I'm actually completing all this stuff, it will give you guys ample time, because, you know, like, I've been through this a lot, so, you know, I figured it'd be helpful. Alright, now we're going to put on the steering rack, and that's size 9 bolts. It's got 4 of them. And then the starter can go in the engine. That's size 7. I don't know why I was trying size 9. And there's two. There's one on the outside, but then there's this one right here on the inside that's very easy to miss if you don't know it's there. And that's often the reason I think sometimes people's starters will fall off. Alright, next we're going to put on whatever this thing is, the headers, I think. No, there's size 8 bolts. There's 2 on each side, and then the middle thing, I can only ever find 1 bolt, so I think it's just 1 bolt in the middle. And then the carburetor kind of goes on top of that. It's the same size bolts, and there's 2 bolts on each side. Usually I don't put it in this order, but I feel like it's easier to understand kind of what's going on. And then there's the air filter that kind of flipped over, and I think that's a size 6 bolts. Yeah, so the air filter, the air goes in the air filter through the carburetor, and that goes into where the, pistons and everything are. And then the exhaust is comes out of those headers. I'm pretty sure. I could be completely wrong. Alright, and then I put the electronics in, because there's some things that you want to put, like you want to finish putting the stuff in the bay before you put the engine in. And then the fuel strainers, the same size bolts as the electrics. I just find it a lot easier to kind of put your head in to screw the bolt in. And then next is put on the shifter. I can't remember what they call it. And that is size 6 bolts. I try to brighten it up so you can see there's 3 bolts. When you have them fully screwed in, the bolt kind of disappears under the floorboard or floor mat or something. And so yeah, these are just some simple things to put on before you can put the tires on. The gear linkage is another thing you can kind of put on and put together before you put the engine in. And these are size 5 bolts and 1 nut right there, so that screws on. And then you have these 2 little bolts right next to each other over there. And it's just a lot easier to see them when the engine's not in there. I think that was pretty much everything before putting the engine in there. Yeah, so take it, and you want to be careful. I used to use the engine crane, and then I found out I can do it this way, and you just want to gently place it on the ground. And so these are size 11 bolts, and the way this works, if you can see that bolt, you screw that one in on the left. I guess technically it's the right-hand side of the car, but it's your left. You get that one in first, and then you can get the other one, and then there's this one in the back. And now your engine is in. Stay hydrated. Try to keep an eye on all your little meters as you're doing all this, because I do not. So, just try to be mindful of that. And then this is the front left wishbone that I just couldn't see to get it in there, so I just left it. And then we grabbed the steering column, which I believe you need the steering rack or whatever that was before you can put this in. And it just pops right in. And these are, what was it, size 8? Yeah, these are size 8, and I tried to brighten it again so you could see. I was with the sun blasting in, I couldn't really see it, so I couldn't really tell if you'd be able to see it or anything. And a size 9, this is bolts right on the pedals. There's 2 pedals, so 1 for each. I think there's actually 3 pedals. There's a clutch would have a. Anyways, and then the steering wheel is a size 10. I couldn't really see that well because it was, like I said, it was dark and the sun was in my eyes, on all these other excuses that I just can pull out. But yeah, so it's size 10, and it's just right in the middle. There's a nut or a bolt. And then I think that was pretty much it for the day. Oh yeah, I was gonna try to figure out the sauna. Well, I mean, I know how to do the sauna, but I think I have this theory. There's got to be a right temperature and to set, because so here's here's the thermostat. That's where you set the temperature. And this is the timer that you can set for how long it's on. So there should be a temperature and time that you can set where it can shut off before it's like, danger zone, but it stays warm when you need it, because you kind of want to set it and then come to it later. So my idea was I'll set it for like a lower temperature. Remember to unplug the telephone, but also I wanted to go to sleep with it on and then wake up to see if it would be a warm enough temperature, because it was a low temperature. You don't want it too high and then go into sleep, because that's just dangerous. It can start a fire. But I thought, no smoke alarms. It's got to be, in the ballpark. But yeah, it I don't know if it even did anything.